Hello, hello. Yeesh, I'm live. Hey, everyone. Hey, hello. Whew. It's kind of hot today, huh? Hey, hello. I will get to you, I promise. DFT, I will get to you after this, I promise, yeah? Hey, how you doing? Donna, how you doing? You good? Hello. Hey. How you doing? Nice to see you guys. How's the day been? Hey, TNT. Twin City, how's it going? Nice to see you guys. Hello. Ooh, nice. Hello. So we're just gonna wait for a bit. You okay, Donna? How you been doing? Don't worry, I'll get to you. Aeon, nice to see you. Hey, Andrew. What can I say? It's not my fault. Oh man, how have you guys been doing? How's your day been going? So whilst we wait for a bit, today I want to tell you a little bit about Nice Donna, a little about the person I want to have a conversation with today, and that is Ryan Sayeed. Okay, hey Ryan, how you doing? You here? Nice to see you. Okay, don't worry, you'll get the mask. So I wanted to interview Ryan Said because he's one of the guys who really caught my attention as a DJ during lockdown. So his hair, how about we have a conversation with him, right? Let's just start right now. Let's see if I can request him. Ryan Said. Waiting for Ryan. Let's see if that works. Hey!
Hey, what's going on?
You're up!
Yes, I just got up, I showered, and I'm on time, right? Now, if Barry Hype was here, he would be shocked because Barry says that all the Ryans are always late. We're always late for everything. Yeah.
Well, I saw you on the Insta this morning, and the girl was brocking out a towel, and then you jumped onto Travis. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do day
I
today.
just, you know me, I never have anything like that on my life. I'm so reserved. Like I'm never even this interview. Like I rarely do interviews and all that stuff like that.
I'm
So
so
yeah.
thankful for it. I'm so thankful. But listen, I wanted to interview you because here's the thing, right? And I have a confession here, okay?
Okay.
I knew about Ryan Saeed, okay? I
Right.
knew you did Rush. I know you did the Fets. I know you've been in London, but I really didn't know about your work before lockdown. And that's
Okay.
the honest, yeah.
Not a
It's
problem.
just before work, I would go on Insta, like I'd pop into you and I'd see you doing your work. I'd be like, hey, okay, he's good. When you did the alternative mix, okay, you had me. I was like, seriously,
Well, yeah.
because different places. And when you dropped the Kez, I was like, okay, I'm a fan of this guy now. I've got to interview this man. I've got to find out
Yeah.
more about it.
Appreciate
Okay.
it so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I wanted to get you because as well, I think for us in London, sometimes the interviews are so late, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, so we
Yeah.
don't really have some conversations with you guys. So
Yeah.
blessing, thank you so much for
No,
doing
no
this.
problem. Thank you. Thank you.
You've been in this thing for about 9.5 years now. This would be your 10th year, okay? I
Correct.
guess I'm trying to who or what gave you your first break? Because you took a brainwash. You would drive. I mean, a lot of DJs would love to be where you are. So how and who gave you that jump?
So it's between my brother and there's another promoter in Miami called Jono. They used to do a
Right.
party called Big Fat Fish. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I've heard of it, yeah.
At the time, it was the biggest soca slash reggae event in Miami, period. Like, yeah, you couldn't get bigger than that event. And that same guy, Jono, who throws that party, he was really cool with my brother. And he was over the house one time. I didn't know who he was. I used to
Right.
go to the parties. I used to go and dance and all that stuff. And I used to be the wino boy in the dance. But yeah,
Okay.
so he came over, and at the time I was just messing around with music. I've always loved music from since I was young. I used to mess around with like building speakers and that kind of stuff. And then
Right.
I built up to, buying a little DJ set. and nothing fancy, but I was in my room just messing around with music, and he was there, and he was like, "Hey, you sounding pretty good." He's like, "Do you normally DJ?" I was like, "No." He's like, "I want to try you out at my party." I had no clue who this guy was. I was like, "All right, whatever."
Okay.
Turns out he handed me a flyer. He went to his car and he handed me a flyer. He's like, "This party is next week. I want you on it. You're playing first." He's like, "I just want to try you out just to see how it goes."
Okay.
Handed me the flyer. It's Big Fish. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I got kind of nervous, and it turned out that it was me, Private Ryan, and another DJ named Selecta AJ. This was when Ryan was living in Miami, going to college.
Okay.
So yeah, I ended up going to the dance. I played first, and then they actually put me back on to close out the night. And it was vibes, and they said, like, right after I was done DJing, he walked up to me. He's like, "Yo," he's like, "I want you back here for every party I do."
Okay then, and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you jump from that now to Private Ryan and to kind of Tribe? What happened?
That was kind of a long journey because when I started, so like I started doing all the Big Fish events, and like I said, Big Fish was the biggest event in Miami at the time, and like it was me and Ryan and the other DJ Selecta AJ, and it would just be us three, and all these people would be coming to the party, and they're like, "Who is this kid?" I was like, I think I was like 19 or 20 at the time, and they're like, "Yo, who's this kid? Like, who's this kid playing on this big stage right now?" And so like that kind of spiraled into doing more events locally, and it was just me and Ryan mainly for like, I think it was a good year, and then Ryan moved back to Trinidad, and that's when Ryan really made his name. When Ryan moved back to Trinidad, his name just went crazy, went everywhere, and yeah, it was insane. So that was like around 2010, 2011. And, I was slowly making my name locally. And 2013, me and Barry Hype was like, "Yo, we need to invest in ourselves and go to Trinidad Carnival." So we forwarded the money and everything for ourselves, we fronted the money for ourselves just to go Trinidad, just to go play for free, whatever. Just like, yo, we want to make our name, just have some people hear our name in Trinidad, So
I like.
yeah, so we went down there. We got a few events. Scorch was instrumental heavily in getting our foot in the door. Yeah, and there's a radio station, Slam 100 in Trinidad. Those guys really helped us make our name in Trinidad. Like, I would be like, "Yo, whatever slap you guys have, I want to play. I want to play. I want to play." So we were just taking every gig just to make our name. And then Ryan knew who we were, and when he, like, of course, when I first started out, like, I was, nobody, in Miami. So when I started coming to Trinidad, he's like, "What are you doing here?" And then I believe it was 2014 was the first year of Brainwash, I believe it was. And he put me and Barry Hype on, and from the first year, and was so grateful. And, we kind of, like, along with Brainwash, like, our name kind of grew along with it, so it wasn't like, we were already, our names were already up there or anything like that, so it was.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's think about things, right? So Private Ryan is Mr. Versatile. If you had to say what kind of DJ you were, how would you name yourself? Because I know you can do the rock, and I know you can do the soca, and I know you can do everything else. How would you describe yourself as a DJ?
I mean, I would always say soca first. Soca
Right.
always gave me that name.
Okay.
And while I do, like, I mean, me and Ryan always love to play all different types of genres, and it's just fun, because we just love music in general. And I grew up on, as you can tell, like, I can grow up on really different types of music. So it's like, yeah, like, to be honest with you, my favorite genre, a lot of people might hate me for this, but my favorite genre is country music.
Now I was going to ask you that because I know there's some DJs that say I am not playing country for nobody, no way, no how. Would you play country music? Would you play country?
My dad was a huge country fan, and I grew up listening to it, and I hated it at the time. Like, absolutely hated it. And I was like, "Yo, why you always have to play this?" And then, like, it's not only just country, but like all the oldies, like all those like the Supremes and like all those older bands and groups, and it was just like I hated it at a time. And then when I grew up a little bit, and even getting into DJing, I'm like, yo, I'm so thankful that they kind of forced that on me, because I love it so much more now, and it's
I
amazing.
like
Yeah.
it, like it. Okay, let's think about you more as a DJ, right? I look at your Insta sessions, and when you first started, you weren't so much on the mic, but now you're a lot more comfortable and more confidence. Is that something you wanted to grow whilst you're in lockdown, or just something that just came naturally to you?
So I mean, we've had this conversation. It's me, Ryan, DJ Crown Prince. He's also one of my mentors. So Ryan and Crown Prince is like two of my main mentors. And like for years now, they've been telling me, like, especially since I'm a traveling DJ and I travel so much, they're like, there's gonna come a time where you're gonna have to talk on that mic. And I'm like, yo, I'm not looking for that at all. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll just play music. I cool with that. And
Right.
you know, like the lockdown was here, and you know, I noticed like the lives were cool musically. Yes, people were enjoying themselves, but like I would go on like Rego and like Young Charles Page, and like the interaction that they had with people, and even live, like when you interact with people, I know a lot of people don't like too much of talking, but like
Yeah.
that interaction, you know, talking to the people, you know, you get that reaction. So it
Really.
like at a certain point, like I think it was like 2 weeks I was into the Instagram live sessions, and I was like, I gotta start talking to these people. I was
I
like,
noticed you
yeah,
talk a lot more.
and also like I was like, yeah, I have to take this opportunity, because like I'm at home doing nothing. I was like, I could take this opportunity to really learn the miking skills, because I mean it can't hurt for me to learn that, you know, and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So kind of just thinking about you as a DJ again now, and I want to think about kind of you and promoters, okay? So I know there's some sets, basically other DJs like Brainwash, they'll have a meeting beforehand, this is going to happen, that is going to happen, and there might be some events where they just say, listen, do what you want. There'll be some promoters who say, listen, just play what you want, and there might be some promoters that say, listen, don't play that tune. For example, Rock It. They might say,
Yeah.
don't play that because you're going to be messing up my place. I ain't got money to pay for that. Right? So
Yeah.
with all them different type of promoters kind of wanting different things from you.
um it's I mean, you kind of learn like with the experience, that's why I always said, like, I always love to, like, starting out, I love the fact that, looking back now, I love the fact that I started DJing. I never saw anything but the first slot of a party for 2 years. I never saw anything else for 2 years straight. And now
Wow.
looking back at that, I'm like, I really respect that, because it kind of gave me the knowledge, because I would show up to the party first and I
Right.
would be there till the end, just especially starting out. You could ask Private Ryan. I know I was that annoying kid behind him, just watching him as a DJ.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. So, but like, different situations. I mean, you can't be perfect all the time, but
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's just the experience to kind of know how to handle yourself in different situations. That's like the run with it. That year was very critical with a lot of venues, because venues like, I'm not gonna have you mashing up my venue. I don't care if that song play, you're gone. And
Right.
the kind of style that myself and also Ryan, like me and Ryan, a lot of people say me and Ryan have the same kind of mixing styles. Like we might play songs like really, really fast and just cut out a tune. So like that year, like we would tease the song. So like we would be playing running tune, and then you drop the Mr. Killer for like 5 seconds and then wheel it and then come back with the next song, and you'd get the forward and just keep it moving, like without having to mash up the people venue. You know what I'm saying? Even in Brainwash, I remember Ryan, as you know, have you been to Brainwash? I think you said you have.
Oh, yeah, yes, I the last one trained. I've been to many of them, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know the exact amount of people, but like, let's say 10,000 people in Brainwash, and you play Run With It, you can cause a problem,
Right.
So he actually had like certain, he implemented certain plans for that song. Like he told all the DJs, he's like, listen, I know he never likes to tell the DJs what to play, but he's
Okay.
like, this is a certain situation. So he actually had all the DJs he's like, I don't really want you guys playing this song until this time. So at that certain time, he actually had his staff in the party go and remove all the garbage cans and all the stuff that you could pick up. And people didn't even notice that, So like you kind of eliminate a lot of injuries and all that stuff that way, you know what I'm saying? So
I like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, like especially with that song that went down,
Agree. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to the DJ business second. Let's talk about you. Okay, you have a serious, solid fan base. A lot of females. I noticed that in the Insta, they have some serious chats with you.
Yeah, I don't know where they come from, to be honest with you.
And I guess I'm kind of wondering for you as well. What has been your proudest moment for you? What has been your proudest as a DJ? Huh?
Proudest moment.
That's why he's a genius. I like that.
This is a great question. I have no idea, to be honest with you. There's proudest moments. Let's see. There's been some personal stuff for me, like certain goals where I got to play on certain events. Like last year, I got to play the Buju concert. That was
What was that like?
Amazing, indescribable. It was amazing, and I got to meet the man. And as a DJ, I mean, I'm just proud of the things that I get and I'm allowed to do like all the time though, because like I'm a huge travel junkie. So like when I started to travel with the DJing, I was just like, that was amazing for me, getting to see like Dubai, Europe, Egypt, all these different places. I mean, it's just a lot of different proud moments. I don't know if I have a proudest moment. Nothing really comes to my mind right now. I don't know.
And I remember you saying at one point, I think I read or you said somewhere that the places you wanted to go to you still want to go to Colorado, you still want to go to Nevada, you still want to go to Australia. Are there any other places that you really want to check out? Being a traveler.
That list is endless. I really want to go a lot of places.
About right now.
What's that?
One place you could think about right now you really want to travel to.
So I said Australia, New Zealand, Japan is definitely third on my list.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I know as well that you love your music, you love your cars, you love your nieces. Oh my God, they're so cute, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you love driving to see the sunsets and the sunrise. You put that on stories. Exactly. What else do you like to do?
Oh man, I like to be spontaneous with so much things. Like I might be here right now, and then like especially when the world was open, like even when it wasn't just DJing, like I would wake up and just be like, let's go California. You know what I'm saying? Like just spur the moment. Yeah. Like if I was off for the few days, I'd be like, yeah, let's go California, or like let's take a road trip to Orlando, or like just spontaneous stuff. And I always like nature, so it's like anything to go. Like I'd love to go California and go hiking in the mountains and on the hills and all that stuff. And it's just spontaneous stuff. I just like doing spontaneous stuff. I love the beach, as you guys know, and so anything to do with that.
Wow. Okay, you go there. All right then. So, Buju, are there any other people, any other massive celebrities you'd love to play for?
That I love to play for. There's a lot on that list. I've gotten to play for a lot already, and I'm grateful. Like, I played for DJ Khaled. I played for U2. That was like amazing. I got to play a festival with U2. That was beyond amazing. I got to play on the same stage as there's a country festival, and I got to play a country festival, like DJ a country festival. That was amazing.
Country.
Yeah, it was actually in Fort Lauderdale. It was Tortuga Festival. If any Floridians in here, they'll know. It was like Tim McGraw, Rascal Flatts, and I think Keith Urban was the three main acts on that stage, and that was amazing for me.
Mhm.
But I mean, there's a lot of people who I'd love to work for that I really can't narrow it down, to be
Right.
honest.
And thank
Yeah.
you, Nadia. Nadia just kind of brought to my a question I wanted. Who do you think has been the most influential as a DJ for you? Who has been your mentors? Who have you learned the most from? I mean, it could
Um,
be Ryan, but apart from him, anyone
yeah.
else?
So, I mean, Ryan was there from the inception. DJ Crown Prince as well. There's another DJ. I actually don't know if he DJs right now. He moved to Orlando, but he was all the way down in Miami. DJ Nico Star.
Okay.
He's not really well known on the market right now. He used to DJ back in the day, and he taught me everything about scratching and all these little techniques and whatnot. And yeah, between Nico Star, Crown Prince, when it comes to celebrity DJs, there's a DJ named DJ Conflict.
Okay.
He's like he taught me about versatility. Like that guy, he's just like he would play a song from the '60s and mix it with a song from like today and make it make sense and make the words speak to each other, and like it was insane. And another one is DJ AM. He's like
Okay.
he was a living legend, and when he passed, that was crazy, 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 crazy. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so we've talked about kind of your miking and you having to work on that. I kind of want to know a bit more. What do you think are your greatest strengths, and what are the things you really need to work on more as a DJ?
Um, Man, that's a good question. Obviously, like you said, the mic, and I need to work on that. But as a DJ, like I I think I need to work on my scratching, to be honest with you. Cause like when I hear guys like Puffy and Ryan scratch, I'm like, man, I can't do nothing, you know. So it's like, yeah. So it kind of makes me feel like I need to work on that more. But I also need to work on my knowledge of music. I find because like I said, like I grew up listening to a lot of different music, like the rock music and the country music and stuff like that. That I think like it kind of hinders my knowledge on the stuff I need to focus on when I'm playing live. Like a lot of like older dancehall and stuff. I might
Right.
know a lot, but there's a lot of stuff that I also don't know. And when I
Okay.
hear songs, like I might know the songs and stuff, but I might not have it in my library, and I might be like, oh man, why don't I have this? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, I think musical knowledge I really need to work on for myself.
Okay. Is there any particular thing you would like to do, and you would think, okay, now I'm successful. I've made it now. You know what I'm trying to
As a
say? Is there
DJ or
as a
just
as a
um,
DJ?
so a lot of people have been asking me to do production. Uh,
Okay.
I, cause like I'm kind of known. I also made my name in Trinidad for like the edits and the remixes and stuff like that. That's kind of how I got my first bus in Trinidad, my real bus. And so like a lot of people's like, yo, you guys, you do all these remixes and edits and stuff to these songs. Why don't you start production? So I've been thinking about it. I actually have a lot of stuff saved, like production that I've done. It's just I'm like, I don't know if I want to step into that realm, because when you start focusing your energy on different things, something you have to sacrifice something.
Yeah.
You can't. And I've learned this working with Marshall. Marshall, like I've done a lot of tours with him, being his DJ, and he always like tells me, he's like, listen, I don't want you doing anything else but focusing on DJing. Like
Okay.
when I'm with him, I was like, yeah, I can go and get, like, if he's thirsty or something like that. Yeah, I can run out and get you a drink. I don't want you to worry about that. I want you
Okay.
to study your music and make sure that you're 100
The music.
for your performance. And like that, like I really took that with me. I'm like, if I really start focusing on other things, like obviously something's gonna sacrifice. Like, and I have this conversation with a lot of DJs that, like a lot of DJs start to turn promoter, and
Right.
you see that change where with a lot of DJs, where it's like they start focusing on the event so much, where you might see it reflect in their sets, in their DJ sets. So it's like, you know, you really need to stay focused on certain things, you know, before you start branching out, you know, master that one thing before you start branching out into other things. But production is definitely one. And also, I do want to start doing more events as well for my city, Miami, because I think that Miami definitely needs it as well.
Wow. So. And what was it like working with Marshall?
Intense.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. When it's time to work is yeah, there's no excuses. You cannot say anything to please that man unless you are doing your job. You know, you cannot come up with no excuse in the world. Like, do your job and you'll be fine. What's that?
It's 100% just do your job, focus on your job, and that's it.
Yeah. Because I mean, in all honesty, that man is one of the hardest working men that I've ever worked with. Like, he doesn't take a break. So when it's time to work, like, even when it's not time to work, he's always practicing. He's always like doing something to better himself. And as big as an artist he is, he's always like, what can I do to be better and this and that. Like, even when even my first time working with him was in DC for Howard University homecoming, which is a big deal, a huge deal. And like I was DJing, we were rehearsing, and I was DJing, and I did like an echo out and like a loop kind of thing with the mixer. And he was like, "Yo," he's like, "How'd you do that?" And he's like, "That sounded wicked." He's like, "I want that in my set." And like, he's like, "I want you to teach me how to use this mixer." So like he would know like what to do. Like, if I wasn't there, you know, he would know with the next DJ what to do. Like, and we spent like an hour on that mixer, just me trying to teach him. And then next thing you know, within that hour, he's mixing and DJing songs by himself, you know? So, yeah.
Okay. So you've mentioned that a little bit you want to go into production. Are there any other goals, future goals you have that you can talk about?
Outside of DJing? Or
Outside of DJ, inside of DJ? I know you say you want to buy a house at some point. Anything else?
I mean, I know you saw it on my stories. I wanted to buy certain cars, but
Yes.
that's always gonna be part of my goals. But
Love your car.
thank you. But I mean, yeah, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm in a place in my life where I'm at that stage where, you know, I want the house, and, you know, I don't know if I don't know if I'm ready, but like, you know, want to start being serious with, you know, relationships and that kind of stuff, you know?
Okay. One time you mentioned, I was really curious about that. You said that Uber's Sofa Proof last year was really, really special for you. Why is that?
And it really was, and it had nothing to do with, you know, the performances. It was the kind of the moments off the stage for me. It was like, you know, I really got to connect with a lot of artists and stuff that, I mean, yes, we know each other. We all follow each other, and we always, you know, messaging. But I'm a person. I've never been the type of person to really connect. Yes, we may connect and click, you know, on a phone messaging and stuff like that. But I've always been like a one-on-one, personable type of person. So it's like that right there, like actually getting to sit down and talk with a lot of the artists. And Chinese Laundry actually commended me on a lot of things. So that had to do with one of my performances. Chinese Laundry actually came up to me on Uber Soca Cruise and was like, "I love the way you've been DJing this cruise, and I want to have dinner with you." So I actually got to go and have dinner with Chinese Laundry, who's an amazing legend in our industry. So it's like, when that happened, I was like, wow. And big up to Dr. J. Also, he also was instrumental in that as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
World is saying Uber was lit. I saw Travis World. I swear that's the hypest I've ever seen him anywhere. On Uber Soca, like,
Uber Soca, like, as I said, like, my cherished moments from this past year for Uber Soca was not really on stage, but I also had amazing moments on stage as well. Like, everybody on that cruise played their heart out, and it was amazing. Like even what part it was? There's a theater turn up where it's the comedy show, and
Oh, yes.
yeah, and we get to play different music. So it's like play whatever you want, like hip hop, R&B, whatever. And me and Patrick, the hype man, which I'm sure everybody knows Patrick.
Yep. Yep.
We shelled down that party. It was amazing. Like yeah, it was like moments like that, and like Travis had his moments. Travis and Private Ryan actually held their own pop-up party. It was like a zest dance that they did, and that was amazing. So yeah, it was.
So that's why it was so good for you. I love it.
Yeah,
I
it
like
was real bad. So like a combination of everything just made it
very good. So this is your 10th year, your 10th anniversary. All right.
yeah.
And I'm sure you had something planned, but like all of us, Corona just squashed everything. All right.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna celebrate it? If you had
Um,
to celebrate, how are you gonna do it? Are you gonna have your own event? What's gonna happen?
so it was gonna be me having an event. I was kind of juggling the idea of should I bring my friends, my mentors who helped me become the DJ who I am? Should I? Yeah, I was dabbling with different ideas, and I came to the idea of like I've always wanted to do this event where it's just me DJing all night. So it was gonna be like 5 hours of just me DJing all night. So yeah, that was gonna be my 10-year anniversary, and it was gonna be a free event, and it was just gonna be me DJing all night, giving thanks to everybody for
Have you ever
making.
done that? Have you DJed all night?
I have DJed for long periods, like 4
Right.
hours.
Great.
Yeah, like 4.5 hours. There was this one year, Miami Carnival, Tribe Ignite, where Lord Hype, do you know Lord Hype from Trinidad? There's Lord Hype, Private Ryan, and like another third DJ, Euphoric. Like they just all decided not to come to the party, and I ended up DJing the whole party. And this, mind you, this was me not talking on the mic. Like I was just yeah. So like my first hour, I had I think it was Barry who was micing for me, and then he had to go to the next party, and I was just like, all right, yeah, do your thing. And I was just playing, and I ended up playing for like 4.5 hours, and yeah. So
How did that go down? It was
it
all
was
right.
actually really, really good for an event without any mic man or anything like that. It turned out to be
Not bad.
really, really good.
I like it. So a couple more questions before I let you go. All right. So
Yeah,
we've had the Beanie Man and Bounty clash. Okay.
yeah.
I think I see Skinny and Voice gonna be doing something on Friday. Okay, with Martel. If you had to do a clash, who would you want to see clash within the soca scene?
Um, who would I want to clash with, or who would I want to see clash?
Who would you want to see clash? What would your clash would you like to see clash?
I would want to see Bungie versus anybody. I'm a huge, yeah, I'm a huge Bungie fan, and like I'm a huge fan of Bungie's older music, like when he was carrying the moniker Fireman, like
Right.
that Bungie, like he was ruthless, So I would love to see that. I know a lot of people said Bungie versus Marshall, but I think
Yeah.
that's so unfair. Like Marshall versus anybody in this industry is kind of unfair because, like, I
He's
mean,
got
that
such
man,
a
yeah,
hasn't
and he has a catalog spanning over 30 years. So it's like you really can't. And the thing is, he's been on top for more than half of those years. So it's kind of hard to really go against Marshall. Even though Bungie would be a good competitor, I just don't think that it's still not fair.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I
Okay.
would like to see Bungie versus anybody really.
Thank you. Okay, so just to round things up, if you had to give advice to any upcoming kind of DJs, because yeah, man, you've done really, really well.
Thank
You
you,
got
thank
some stuff like that. What would your advice be to upcoming DJs?
you. Don't rush it. Is one of my main things. Like I told you, that first 2 years that I had just opening parties and just, you know, really getting to see the party grow, that I would forever cherish that, because like it really put me in a mind frame as to like now wherever a promoter puts me to DJ,
Mm.
I'm 99% sure I can handle myself.
Right.
Like, and also persistence. Like, I mean, don't be afraid to, you know, ask, you know, the veteran DJs, because I've talked about this. Like, I don't really see a lot of veteran DJs mentoring anybody anymore. You know, like you don't really see that. What's that?
Is it because the young ones are too scared to go to the mentors? The mentors don't have time?
I really don't know. Like me personally, like I have been asked, and to be honest with you, I don't think I'm at that stage to be a mentor. I really don't think so. But I mean, I'm always willing to give advice. Like there's been a lot of DJs like Young Exclusive, who's in the chat right now. He's always messaged me, and I've always been open to giving people advice and stuff like that. And you know, I know there's a lot of, not a lot, but there's, you know, there might be some DJs might be like, I don't want to give away my secrets and that kind of thing. But like, I mean, we're only here for a certain span of time, you know. So like to pass it on, you know, there's nothing greater than that. You know, you should be able to, you know, pass your talent, not your talent, but like, I guess your knowledge that you've learned from your experience, because the reason why where I am today is because of that knowledge. Like talking to guys like Crown Prince and Private Ryan when they were at their peak. Well,
Yes.
when they were at like 15 years in the game already. Walshy Fire, I knew Walshy Fire before I was even a DJ, and like we were just cool like friends. And then when I became a DJ, he kind of, all those three guys kind of took me under their wing, and they're like, you know, this is how you conduct the business side. This is how you know, this is how you liaise between different promoters, and you know, it's just a lot of knowledge that people really wouldn't know, and I wouldn't have known if I wasn't to ask. You know, I'd be like, yo, and like I know I was kind of annoying to them at some point, but like I was like, yo, I want to know, and
Yeah.
like also, you have to be willing to put in the work, because that same DJ, Nico Star, that I told you about, he lived about 45 minutes away from me. And my parents would get vexed with me. Like, why are you going down to Miami so far away for so long and spending all day there? I would literally go down there and spend like 6 hours down there.
Wow.
With just him teaching me one scratch. Like, one scratch. And you can ask it, like, when I first started scratching, like I was like so off, so bad, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to spend a lot of time." And for him to spend that time with me too,
Right.
I know it's a sacrifice for him. And like I would just do all kinds of stuff. Like I said, persistence is a main thing, and you have to be willing to put in that work, because you're not gonna be able to learn these things overnight. You know, so I would go, like, even if I wasn't playing, like I would go and I'd just go and watch certain DJs who I admired, and just watch them, their style, how they handled the turntables, how they handled the mic, and just, you know, just try and learn and soak up that energy.
One more question before you go. How do you handle you're playing for so many people? Do you get nervous? And if you get nervous, how do you handle that?
I get nervous every single time. If it's 20 people, if it's 15,000 people, I get nervous. It doesn't matter. I always get nervous because I'm always.
How do you handle it?
What's that?
How do you handle it? What do you do? Do you just say, "Well, right, I need to do it"? Or...
How I handle it now is a lot different how I handled it before. Like, now I'm just like, I kind of have to psych myself. I'm like, there's something that Crown Prince always told me. He's like, all right, and the reason why he told me this, let me give you a little backstory. So like I said, I started off just being that opening DJ. So like I learned really quickly to play my part. Don't rush the dance. Don't play certain tunes at certain times, you know? And like when I started getting that name and that notoriety, like I would start getting prime time slots, and I would still kind of play where it's like I might get to the primetime music, but I would start off kind of like easy going. And he would always tell me like, yo, he's like, you know, that first step has to be confident, and you have to stick your foot into that party, that first song, that first step. And he's like, when you're in that primetime slot, don't be afraid, because you are the prime time. Your job is to turn this party up. Like there's no warm up right now. So so yeah, he was always, you know, like, yeah, don't be afraid to do that. Like step first with confidence. You know, so I really took that, and right now that's what I do. I'm like, when I'm nervous, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if these people are gonna dance to this music. And I was like, man, come on, let's do this. You know, like right before I play, and like I actually have to stretch, like I'm actually gonna do like some physical workout or something like that. Like, cause like I actually, like this hand right here, it locks up on me sometimes. So yeah, like I might be scratching, and if I didn't stretch properly, like I might be like, whoa, like that didn't sound good. And like I have to like really like stretch my wrist and like my arm and all that. So like if you see me right before I go on DJ, like I'm always like, yeah, this like, yeah.
Is that one of your chiropractor?
Pretty much. My cousin, he's actually a really top ranked chiropractor in the US, and like he always has me like, don't be on your phone like this, it's gonna mess up your spine, and like talk like, you know, text like this when you're on your phone, and like, you know, do these certain exercises and this and that. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, DJ Ryan Sayeed, thank you so much for your time. Any last word?
Not really. Just want to say thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and just the fact that you wanted to interview me, I'm really appreciative. I love it, and I appreciate your energy, because you're always supporting and everything. I know we haven't known each other for very long. This is actually my first time seeing you. We've always been texting and stuff like that.
So, I became a fan. I listened to the music. I saw how you're mixing. You had the vibe, you had the energy. Like I said, you had some songs which I haven't heard from anyone else. I'm like, okay then. And I'm like, okay, I need to find out more about the group. So that's it.
So much.
Thank you very much. Blessings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. So that was Ryan Sayeed. I hope you learned a little bit more about him. Okay. It was great finding out more about him. I was like, yeah, okay, well, let's know more about this guy. So this is kind of our one for today. All right. We might have some other people. I think we've got one or two other people lined up probably for next week or so. Please just follow us. Keep an eye on our stories, okay? Because that's where we get a lot of information and stuff. And yeah, have a good evening, have a good afternoon, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.